Here's an update on the Blazer. So you see, you got new tires. Well, this one sat mostly most of last year. In case you're wondering, the Jimmy's over at my friend's house where I switched these ones out. I need to drive this one a bit more because I got to get it broken in. Last year I was out at 9th Street DIY out there in Canton, Ohio with a few friends, and that's where the engine really started to go downhill, and it was really starting to go. A bunch of blue smoke coming out of the exhaust, was starting to run funny. We're sitting there at we just left 9th Street and we're sitting there at Burger King in the drive-thru, and it's starting to run funny, and I'm like, okay guys, let's see if the Blazer can get us back home. And it did. Made it down the highway. Wasn't running real good, that's for sure. Had bad compression. It was misfiring and a whole bunch of smoke coming out the exhaust pipe. And well, turns out the head was going, and it was because of road salt. Actually, it rotted from the outside in. And well, full rebuild. Engine was rebuilt, remachined at Boardman Engine, and my buddy painted it red, and he put it back together, put it in, and everything's all been redone. I got a new master cylinder too, and a little air filter, and a nice spot. Got some cool air coming up. Goes on in. It's away from the manifolds. Well, actually, no longer has manifolds. We got stainless steel shorty headers on there now. And everything on this truck is new. It's all new lines. Jesse made these lines up. We tried getting stainless steel lines from Inline Tube, and for whatever reason, they kept sending us lines for a K1500 Blazer. Every time. So we had to send all those back. But it's got new transmission lines. Got new oil cooler lines, which... yeah, new oil cooler lines. These have been on there for a little while. New fuel lines, new brake lines, front to back. New brakes all around. Drums are redone. I even got a new axle on the rear passenger side because it was wearing out. So there's been a lot that's been done to it. The only thing left is body work. I actually picked up a parts truck that's got clean rear doors. And I'll be able to use the metal for the quarter panels. So these quarter panels are going to get redone. I got rocker panels from LMC Truck. It's going to be getting painted. My buddy up down the street there was able to paint match. We found some Rust-Oleum rattle can spray paint that actually matches the original color of the truck, like spot on. And I have a new fender for this side. I got a new driver's door it's going to go on. It's just right now everything's at a halt because of life circumstances right now. Work got slow, so everything's just halted till things pick back up, and then we're going to continue. That's all going to be all new metal, all welded in. Everything's going to be all... it's going to be like a new truck. The only thing after body work is going to be touching up the interior. The seat, which doesn't really need much. I might get some new red carpet. The dashboard is cracked up, but I think I'm just going to keep the dash the same, just to... although I might get one off a buddy. He's got a couple of red dashes. But the interior ain't too bad. But the thing is, I mean, my headliner's starting to sag in a few spots. So, might touch that up too. But, yeah. If you guys remember from almost 5 years ago, this was the first Blazer I ever bought. I was contemplating a 350, but, you know, this 4.3, I mean, it proved itself to me. Even in the time when this truck was really falling apart, like bad, it was still dependable. It still got me to where I needed to go. It had its issues, but never left me stranded when it was really falling apart. And now everything's all new on it. Got a new fuel system, everything's new on this. It's just the bodywork, the only thing. That and the anti-lock brake system don't work at all. But like any other vehicle I've had, the anti-lock brakes have never worked. That black Blazer I had, same issue this one has. I mean, I can leave it hooked up, I still have brakes. It's not like the Jimmy. And the Jimmy, I have to, this one, unhook, can't plug it, can't hook them up, because if I do, the brake pedal is just rock hard and it makes a buzzing sound, and I got no brakes at all on that one when it's hooked up. But if you guys remember that Suzuki I had years ago, that one had ABS problems too. So every single vehicle I've had has had anti-lock brake issues. So of the words of my buddy Nate, it don't need it. So I can stop just fine without anti-lock brakes. And I love this Blazer. It's been worth every bit of money I've put into it. I bought it for $800 and I've put over $4 grand into it so far. And I love it. The only thing that I would change about it though is, well, you see it's got this little issue from the factory. As you see here, we're missing a pedal. There's supposed to be another pedal right here. And there's this weird thing on the steering column. But now to do the swap, I know what transmission I want to get. Same transmission that's in the Jimmy. The hole is actually already there in the floor. It's just a little plate that covers it, and there's also another little plate that covers a hole there. So getting it to fit wouldn't be too bad. Just need a different drive shaft. But the issue is the computer system. The central port injected 4.3s, they never came with a stick. So getting it to run right with a manual transmission would be the issue. But the 700 R4 that's in this truck, it was rebuilt, I don't know, at some point it was. It's a remanufactured transmission. Guy that had this truck before me got it from Cleveland Auto Wrecking out of a truck there at that junkyard, and it seems to work fine. It shifts fine. It doesn't have any issues. It's a strong transmission, so I'm just going to drive it with this transmission until it does what every automatic does, has issues, and then we'll go about getting a manual in there. So, I mean, got some plans for it for in the future. I'm going to fire it on up here. I intend on keeping this one forever. Same with my Jimmy, but that one's a Holy Grail 4-door 5-speed from the factory. Wasn't swapped. It's a factory 5-speed transmission. Now, if only I can get my keys off of my lanyard. And I almost did this past year buy another vehicle. I almost bought a third one. I almost had it with one hand. I almost had my keys off of there with one hand. I almost bought a 1984 Chevy K10 305 with a 4-speed manual with 308 gears. It was blue with blue interior, and the body wasn't too bad, actually. And I really wanted it, but the issue with it was the 305 was on its way out, and I was already into an engine rebuild with this one, so I had to pass it up. But now if I would have done it, that 305 would have came out, 350 would have gone in, and probably would have done new lines all throughout, brake lines, fuel lines, you know, all that good stuff. But it was just going to be too much, and one major project is enough at a time. So, but at some point, I will be getting a full-size square body, and I'm very picky. It has to be a 350, and it has to be stick, and I want those 308 gears because highway driving. There we go. Runs nice. It's the best this truck has ever ran in the time I've owned it. Got a little squeaky pulley. No blue smoke. We're doing good. I only got about 1,000 miles on it so far. And that's the 92 Blazer. A little update on it. It's doing good. Most people would have gave up, but then there's me. I'm just kind of crazy, I guess. But I love these things, so they're all I really ever drive. Plans to get a full-size square body? Yes. Keeping the two I got. They're great. Nice happy medium of a vehicle, not too big, not too small, nice and square. Pretty simple. Almost a little too modern, but not too modern though. I mean, they got the amenities and whatnot, the creature comforts, but yeah, they're a nice happy medium. Very good vehicle.